You felt all of these before, but you never knew they had names. Today, I want to give you words for the emotions you've carried in silence. Because sometimes, just knowing there's a name for what you feel can change everything. L'appel du vide. You're on a bridge, or maybe a tall building. You look down, and suddenly out of nowhere, you have this urge to jump. Not because you want to die, not because you're sad or hopeless, just because. It's this weird pull, like something calling to you from the edge. The French have a phrase for this, l'appel du vide. The call of the void. It's not suicidal thoughts. It's something different. It's your brain testing boundaries, wondering what would happen if you just let go. Some researchers think it's actually a sign of how much you want to live. Your mind throws these thoughts at you to remind you how precious life is. If you've ever felt this, you're not broken. You're not weird. You're human. And now you know it has a name. Kuebiko. Shift to heavier, more contemplative tone. But sometimes, the weight isn't about our own lives. Sometimes it's about everything else. You scroll through the news and see another tragedy, another injustice, another person suffering. And suddenly you feel this crushing tiredness that goes deeper than being sleepy. It's like the world's pain is sitting on your chest, and you can't breathe under all of it. You want to help, but you feel so small, so powerless, so tired of caring about things you can't control. There's a Japanese word for this feeling. Kuebiko. It's the exhaustion that comes from witnessing too much suffering in the world. That paralyzing sadness when you realize how much is wrong and how little you can fix. If this sounds like you, I see you. The fact that you feel this way means you have a heart that cares. And in a world that can feel heartless, that matters more than you know. Zenosyne, nostalgic, reflective. Speaking of time, do you remember being a kid and how summer vacation felt like forever? Now look at your life. Wasn't it just New Year's? Didn't you just graduate? Start that job? Have that birthday? Time feels like it's speeding up, and you can't slow it down. Days blur into weeks, weeks into months. You blink, and suddenly you're older, and you're not sure where all that time went. This feeling has a name too. Zenosyne. The sense that time keeps accelerating as you get older. It's real, by the way. When you're 5, 1 year is 20% of your entire life. When you're 20, it's only 5%. Each year becomes a smaller fraction of your experience, so it feels like less. But maybe knowing this can help. Maybe it can remind us to slow down, to notice moments, to be present instead of always rushing toward whatever comes next. Enouement. Warm, compassionate. And when you do look back, do you ever wish you could go back to your younger self? Not to change what happened, but just to sit with them for a moment? To tell that scared teenager that they're going to be okay? To hug that college student who felt so lost and let them know they'll figure it out? To comfort that version of yourself who thought they weren't good enough, smart enough, strong enough? You made it through all of that. You survived every bad day, every heartbreak, every moment when you thought you couldn't go on. And sometimes, when you look back, you feel this tender sadness for the person you used to be. That's denouement. The bittersweetness of looking back at your past self with compassion, wishing you could comfort them now that you've made it through. You were doing your best with what you had. And look at you now. You're still here. You're still growing. You made it. Rubatosis. Shift to slightly anxious tone. But sometimes, even in quiet moments, your body reminds you that you're alive in ways that feel strange. You're lying in bed or sitting in a quiet room, and suddenly you become aware of your heartbeat. It's been beating your whole life, but now you notice it, and it feels weird. Too fast, too slow, too loud. You focus on your breathing, and that feels strange too. This uncomfortable awareness of your body's automatic functions has a name. Rubatosis. When you suddenly notice your heartbeat or breathing in a way that feels unsettling. It usually happens when we're anxious or when things are too quiet. Our minds need something to focus on, so they turn inward. It's normal. It's not dangerous, but it can feel really uncomfortable when it happens. Just breathe. Your body knows what it's doing. It's kept you alive this long. Jouska. More energetic, relatable. Your body might know what it's doing, but your mind? Your mind loves to replay things that never even happened. You know what I'm talking about. That argument you had with someone 3 weeks ago, except now you have the perfect comeback. That conversation you should have had with your boss, except now you know exactly what to say. That fight you might have with someone tomorrow, so you practice all your responses just in case. You replay these imaginary conversations over and over. You win arguments that never happened. You say things you'll probably never actually say. Your mind creates these elaborate scenarios and makes you live through them again and again. This is Jouska. The habit of rehearsing conversations and arguments in your head. It's your brain trying to prepare for social situations. But sometimes it gets stuck on repeat, and you find yourself having the same imaginary fight for the 100th time. You're not overthinking everything because you're crazy. You're doing it because you care about how things go, because you want to be prepared, because you want to get it right. Onism, deep, philosophical. And maybe all of these feelings come back to the same place. This awareness that you're just one person, living one life, seeing the world through one set of eyes. You'll never know what it's like to be someone else. You'll never live in a different time, a different place, a different body. You're stuck with your perspective, your experiences, your limitations. Sometimes that feels sad. All the lives you'll never live. All the places you'll never see. All the versions of yourself you'll never become. The sadness of being limited to just one life, one perspective, has a name. Onism. But maybe there's another way to look at it. Maybe the fact that you only get one life makes it more precious, not less. Maybe your unique perspective is exactly what the world needs from you. Maybe being limited to one story means you get to make that story count. You felt them, but you never had words for them. You thought you were the only one. You thought something was wrong with you. But these feelings are so common, so universal, that languages around the world have created words for them. Other people have felt exactly what you feel. You're not alone in any of this. And maybe that changes something. Maybe having names for these emotions makes them feel less scary, less isolating, less overwhelming. Maybe it helps you realize that feeling deeply isn't a weakness. It's what makes you human. You've always had these emotions. Now you just have the words. And sometimes, the right words can change everything.